Hello, in this video I'm going to start a series on how to help new characters develop their character up to uh, level 50 or champion level, or if you yourself have open character slots and you're thinking about um, creating another character for your roster of characters, then I'm going to show you my routine and method for helping out characters that are just starting out, or if you've got one on your own that you want to help or develop onto a full CP. So I created a character on my wife's profile here because she's got some availability on her roster. She doesn't have 20 characters like I do, and so she's currently at a level 3. So I'm going to go through what I recommend for setting up for gear, because I do have a very specific routine for this, and I recommend you follow along with this as well, because I have a very meticulous way of doing this, and there is a reason for it. Now, she is a Breton Arcanist, so going to eventually become a healer. So that is predominantly going to be a Magicka character. In PvE, she will dominantly be wearing light armor. If she does a PvP build of some kind, it'll likely be a mixture of all three weights of armor, or maybe just two, who knows. But predominantly going to be a Magicka-based character, pretty much, because of the passives that Breton has. And so I want to go through that a little bit here. I'm going to start at the blacksmithing station for making heavy armor pieces, and then I will move on from there for weapons and all of that. So when you first start out, you're going to want to pick um, the armor set is in the DLC zones, and this came out in, I believe it was Blackwood, and that is Heartland Conqueror. Now, the reason why we picked this is because we're going to make our weapons traits in the training trait. And you want to make sure that you use this set at least as one of your sets, because this will double the training that you get for the XP for your weapon trait, which is normally only, I believe it's 9% when it's golded out. If you use this set, you'll get a whole nother 9% experience. So I'm going to start off by making a chest piece in heavy, and that's going to be in the training trait. So training chest. Now I do 3 pieces of heavy, and then I'm also going to do 3 pieces of medium. And the reason why I do that is because she's predominantly going to be wearing light armor. So the light armor is going to fill up super fast once you get to the point where you're done. If there's anything left to level, that light armor is going to skyrocket. However, if you don't address the medium and heavy, those are going to lag back super hard. And if you ever get into a scenario where you want to use medium or heavy armor, you're not going to have the development there to use that unless you do some leveling later on, which really sucks. When I get my characters done, I like to be able to use them and get them working. And so I'm going to recommend that you do that as well. So I'm going to make a Heartland belt in the training trait. And then I'm going to make, actually scratch that, I'm going to make bracers in the training trait, and then I'll make a sash in the training, and then I'll just decon the belt. So now I've got 5 pieces of the Heartland Conqueror there. I've got 3 heavies, 1 of each here, medium and light. and now I'm just got to improve it. Now, I like to give everybody purple gear for this so that they really get some juiced up training. It really moves the needle. You get 10% per armor piece. I don't think it's really worth using the gold mats on it because it's not going to make that big of a difference to get one jump, but I have a lot of materials here for up to the purple quality, so it's really not that big of a deal for me to get it to purple quality and level these up. And so along with the Heartland Conqueror set, the other set that I usually have people use, because they're developing a character and you're kind of a low level character, you're not really super effective on everything. I would recommend going with, well, first of all, I will do the helmet and shoulders that I usually use, and that's usually just Druid's Braid because it's got a really good 1 and 2 piece there. And because I already have my light piece, I can make this a helmet. And then the shoulders, that'll give me 3 medium pieces. And I can tell you she's already opened up her medium armor skill line because I actually turned that on during the setup phase of creating it and picked up 3 pieces of light armor. So now once we put these 3 pieces of armor on, the medium and the heavy, it's going to basically pop those skill lines as well. And so now we've got Druid's Braid for the head and shoulders, and we've got 5 body pieces of Heartland Conqueror. And then for the other set, I'm just going to recommend you go with Order's Wrath. It's a really good overall set. It doesn't really matter if it's a healing set or anything like that if you're a healer. You want to just work on offense while you're leveling a character. Obviously, you want to focus on developing skill lines and all that. So you don't ever want to neglect that, but I'm going to just make these in healthy to give her the most maximum health to, well, you know what? I'm going to make Arcane. I think Arcane would be better. Well, I changed my mind. Bloodthirsty it is. And I'll make 2 rings. And with the jewelry, depending on what kind of mats you have, jewelry is not as necessary in terms of getting all the way up, but as you can see, I've got plenty of jewelry mats for this, so it's not that big of a deal to use a couple of zircons here and build all the way to purple quality. It will help with killing mobs, and it'll help getting the levels of whatever you're using to be more potent as well. And so now we've got 3 pieces of that. I'm gonna make, let's see here. I'm going to make daggers, I believe. Oh, you know what? We're gonna keep the easy. I'm gonna recommend this. Um, keep it easy on new players, especially. Daggers is probably a little bit dangerous for a low level character. Um, Order's Wrath, obviously, we got to finish out that 5-piece set. Make sure it's training. And then I'm going to recommend you go with a lightning staff so that they can heavy attack. This will make sure that their resources don't run out. And then for a back bar weapon, you can proc. There's a Resto staff to proc that line. And then we need a bow as well to proc that line. And I'll make a couple of other weapons and stuff on the other table. But the reason why we're making these, actually I don't need to upgrade that. I just need to upgrade this one, because this is the one we're going to keep. These other ones are here basically just so that we can pop the skill line and get access to a skill to put on our bar to level up. And so here we're going to get Order's Wrath again. And now I just want to make... Oh, it doesn't even have to be a trait. We've already got dual wield up. So we'll make a two-handed sword to get the two-handed up and going. And then I will make a shield over here because I forgot to do that. And it doesn't even have to be a set piece. It can just be a shield. Okay, so now what we need to do is make glyphs for the gear. For new players just starting out and putting gear on, I would recommend just going with maximum health to keep them alive during their leveling process. You can do Oko and then Rakuta for the armor. And then unfortunately for the glyphs, you can't really do a level 4. They have a level 5, which if I was thinking ahead, I probably could have done that, but we'll just make 6 of these. The glyphs really are not that important on a developing character, so we'll just make 7 of those, and then I will make a flame glyph for the lightning staff. And then we need weapon damage glyphs for the jewelry. Okay, so just to recap really quickly, we've got 3 pieces of heavy, 3 pieces of medium, we got 2 pieces of Druid's Braid, 5 pieces of the Heartland Conqueror, and then 5 pieces of Order's Wrath. The Order's Wrath is on the jewelry or the weapons. You can move that stuff around however you want. It doesn't have to be Heartland on the jewelry and weapons. I used to think that, but that's not the case. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and put the glyphs on these. And so we've got the staff here. We just enchant that so that it's got the flame glyph on it. And then we go in here and put the enchantment there, and just be mindful that you don't actually equip this item or you won't be able to pass it to another player. I know that might be kind of duh information for some, but just want to cover all the bases here. It doesn't matter that this stuff is like a level 1 glyph. You're not going to run this equipment for very long. That's another thing I'm going to talk about here before I close the video out, is how long to run this stuff before you get new gear. I'm going to recommend that you have a set of level 30 is where I kind of like to switch it up, because it really starts to feel like you're hitting like a wet noodle. And it's a lot easier if you get that upgrade in gear to help you progress at leveling your character. So once I've got this all done, then I can propose a trade here to pass the gear to her. And then we can end the video while I'm talking through this. A lot of this stuff she can't wear yet because she's still a level 3. However, I'm going to start up in the next video that I do in this series. I'm going to show a lot of different things, how I handle leveling characters all the way to CP. Basically, I've got several different things that I recommend. There's a lot of moving parts to handle when you're developing new characters. If you're brand new to the game, there's definitely a lot to do. And so I want to cover all of that in a step-by-step series, so that when you get to the point where you're done leveling your character, you can use your character for PvP, PvE, solo, whatever it is, and they're all ready to go. If you see, this is my main character here. My skill lines are all at level 50. And that's something that I focus on so that I can do whatever I want with any character. Maybe the world skills or some of this other stuff like Dark Brotherhood or Thieves Guild's not leveled up all the way, but like my crafting is all the way up. That's another thing I'm going to talk about further on in this series. But yeah, I'm gonna cover how I do all of this to get everything leveled and nice and ready, so that you have a Swiss Army knife at your hands, and you're not kind of stuck with a situation where you get to CP level and man, you had a destruction staff on the whole time, but then you want to try a dual wield build, but hey, your dual wield is at a 5 because you never used it while you were leveling. So um, that's something I'm talking about in this series, and I'm going to cover that in detail. So if you like this video, keep an eye out for the future ones. I'm going to keep them going here and cover. I'm not sure how many videos it's going to be in the series, but I am going to do probably at least 3 or 4 different ones to cover setting up crafting, your guild stuff, going into Siridel, getting that going, all of that stuff, and why I think all of that is important, and how to get all of this to level all at the same time, passively and everything. So keep an eye out for that if that interests you. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're interested in that, so you can catch the next ones that I do. I will try and do those as quickly as I can and not lag off too hard on those. So hopefully that'll be in the near future here, and I'll load them as soon as I get them done. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.